So the 2020 Grammy, the 2020 Grammy, 2020 Grammy nominations are here. But for right now, we just got the nominees, and I'm just giving you my thoughts on who I think is gonna win, what I think of the nominations. I'm not too shocked at everything, except how her manages to get placed in the Grammys nomination list like every year, it seems. I found that people were really upset that Tyler the Creator was not nominated for Album of the Year. Instead, he just made it into the rap category. I will give my thoughts on that as we enter into what I think the picks are gonna be. But let's start with the first one, which is the R&B performance. Now, best R&B performances, we have Love Again, Could Have Been, Exactly How I Feel, Roll Some Mo, and Come Home. This is a pretty clear winner for me. I'm going to go ahead and say Love Again from Daniel Caesar and Brandy is what I think deserves to win. Vocally, those two are on point. Their vocal control, the hook for that song, it's so focused in and honed in on their voice alone without anything else to get really in the way. Could Have Been with her and Bryson Tiller is, I feel, exactly where they usually excel. I think that's probably the best I've heard Bryson Tiller since Trap Soul, since I want to say Wild Thoughts. Roll Some Mo is not a bad song from Lucky Daye. I do think they're entering him into this field a little prematurely just because there's a want where people are fishing for lesser known acts. I don't think that he's ready, I would say, to be Grammy nominated yet, and people could probably say that it's hating or whatever, but I think just after another project, another record, I think he'll be a lot more, I think he'll have honed in on his skill set a lot more. And Come Home with Anderson .Paak and Andre 3000. Yeah, I'm definitely go with Love Again. They could throw something random out of the water and say her with Bryson Tiller will win. They could give it to Lizzo. I don't know why Lizzo is even in this category right now, because that to me sounds like a pop song. It doesn't sound like R&B to me. So I don't really know what they're going with. I don't want to see Lizzo in too many spots on this R&B category list here, because I think majority of her album was pop. So I enjoyed it as a pop record. It's cool as a pop record. I'm just not calling it all R&B because it talks about relationships. My pick for best R&B performance will go to Daniel Caesar and Brandy with Love Again. Brandy also had made an appearance on Anderson .Paak's Ventura album, which I thought was a little underwhelming, so I'm glad they didn't nominate that one as well. I'm glad they gave her one that she actually really performed and dominated on. Best traditional R&B performance, we got Time Today from BJ the Chicago Kid, a cool song. Steady Love from India Ari, I like that song as well. Jerome from Lizzo, again, Real Games, Lucky Daye, and Built for Love with PJ Morton featuring Jasmine Sullivan. I really want to go with Steady Love from India Ari. I think like the concept or the idea of that song of just feeling together and feeling all right, knowing that you're kind of loved consistently is I think is great. You know, it leads just to her confidence in her relationship and her ability just to go throughout the day knowing that someone's got your back and they love you unconditionally and consistently. I definitely wouldn't say that Lizzo is finding herself in the instrumental traditions with that single. And I do think the appeal for Lizzo, because a lot of people have been hating her recently, I found out. I do think the appeal for Lizzo is in her theatrics. Her voice is just so grand and, huge. She's got, and I do not mean that as a joke, she's got like this huge presence over the track. She dominates in that field, and it makes a lot of those singles and the songs that she comes out with sound like they're from a musical, honestly. A lot of what she kind of sings, I feel like, could be the soundtrack for like Hairspray or something like that. But I wouldn't necessarily, like I say, consider any of it or most of it R&B. I want to go with Steady Love. As far as traditionally, I do think, Time Today from BJ the Chicago Kid would be a better fit. But personally, I go with Steady Love. Who do I think they're going to pick? I wouldn't be surprised if they threw a curveball and tried to give it to a lesser known act like Lucky Daye. Like I said, Real Games isn't a bad track at all, but, out of the lineup here, I don't think it should win. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Lizzo as well. but I'm gonna go with Steady Love. And I'll just say Steady Love. I think realistically I would pick Time Today from BJ the Chicago Kid. But Steady Love, I think, would be the one that I would pick right now. Best R&B song, we got Could Have Been with Bryson Tiller and Her, Look at Me Now. Emily King, Look at Me Now. I don't think Emily King's album was like bad. It also kind of, enters more of the pop lane, but there are a lot of jazzy, kind of R&B-ish elements in her album. But I do think Look at Me Now reminds me really, really strongly of Do You Like Drugs from Miguel. I don't know if it's just the drop in the song, but it's very reminiscent of that song for me. No Guidance with Chris Brown and Drake, Roll Some More with Lucky Day, and Say So. Say So is a pretty good song. I want to go with Say So because Say So to me is the better song. I think No Guidance gave us a really, really big moment just in pop culture in general. Chris Brown and Drake, I don't really know if they'd ever made music together before. I'm not sure. But I definitely think that was like a milestone. Like, not only did it confirm the ending of their back and forth that had been stemming for 6-7 years prior, I think, but we finally got to hear two artists that, one people look at as like the new age Michael Jackson, the other one people look at as like this fusion of perfect rap and R&B soul sensitivity type guy. So for those two to come together on a track, I think was a huge moment just for music in general. Plus their music video made for some interesting memes. They had a lot of cool characters in there. I really liked the music video in their dance battle. So it was cool. I like the moment it created, even though I wasn't a big fan of the song. I think the moment and overall the collaboration can be appreciated. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went with Chris Brown and Drake with No Guidance. I wouldn't be mad at it either. But personally, I'm going to go with Say So. Best Urban Contemporary Album, and we've got Apollo from Steve Lacy. I'm going to flick that to the side right now. I don't like Apollo like that. I was very disappointed with that record, and I was heavily anticipating a new Steve Lacy this year, and I was severely let down. Cause I Love You with Lizzo. For albums containing at least 51% playing time of newly recorded contemporary vocal tracks derivative of R&B. Again, I just don't consider her record R&B. I just don't, Overload with Georgia Ann Muldrow. I'm surprised they have that one on here. Her track Intro, actually, with Play It Up, right after the first intro track, I guess. Play It Up is a great song. I don't know how I feel about the remainder of the record, like in its totality, but I think it definitely deserves like an honorable mention. But I'm surprised they even have that as a list here. Saturn from Now. I like it. And I think honestly it would probably be the best spot on here, to be quite frank. I don't mind Jessie Reyes being Human in Public record. I think she has a few good singles off there, the biggest of which and probably the most enjoyable was her smash record Body Count. But I also like Soya. I also like Fuck Being Friends. Jessie Reyes' album actually struck me in a similar way that Lizzo's did, in that they have elements in their music that I feel are commonly mistaken for R&B, and then they get categorized as that. I think if Jessie Reyes was a better songwriter, a lot of her music would probably go over much better, because she's another artist that, has a very theatrical voice, has a very huge and explosive presence on her music. Not gonna lie, I think they're probably gonna go with Lizzo. They may throw me and go with Jessie Reyes, but I don't think they're gonna go with Now. I'm going with Now with Saturn. She was in my honorable mentions last year. I definitely think she deserves the spot this year. Best R&B album. We've got 1123 from BJ the Chicago Kid, Painted from Lucky Day, LMA, Paul, PJ Morton, and Ventura with Anderson .Paak. I'm going to go with Ventura because LMA's record was mid at best. Paul with PJ Morton, I think, has some really good moments. I don't think it comes together completely as an R&B album that I enjoy from front to back. Painted from Lucky Day has its moments. 1123, like I said, from BJ the Chicago Kid, I think also has its moments, but just completely records like by themselves, I think I would go with Ventura. I think this is a pretty easy choice, but I could be wrong. I think they would pick Ventura. I'm going to go with Ventura too, so that's just where it's at. Best rap performance, we're finally at the rap spot. We got J. Cole with Middle Child, Suge from DaBaby, Down Bad from Dreamville, Racks in the Middle, Nipsey Hussle, Roddy Ricch, and Hit Boy, and Clout from Offset and Cardi B. I think all of these moments were huge with the exception of Down Bad from Dreamville. Not saying that it wasn't a good track, I just don't know how big of a moment it was in music. I think Suge was a much bigger moment in music than maybe Middle Child from J. Cole. I think Suge can probably be played in a lot more settings. So best rap performance, I'm gonna go with Suge from DaBaby. I really like that song. I think, you know, I heard it all year. It was played to death. Middle Child from J. Cole was cool, but I think it lost its sting not long after people heard it the first time, and the message J. Cole was trying to convey of, you know, being stuck in the middle between the new generation rappers and the OGs. So Down Bad was cool too, but I think it was cool for promotion for the Dreamville record. I think Down Bad by itself is a cool record, but I don't know how much it gets done beyond that. Clout was a big moment with Offset and Cardi B, it was, but I don't really hear it being played too much anymore. But maybe that's just me. Suge from DaBaby, I've literally heard all year. So best rap / sung performance, we got Higher with DJ Khaled, Nipsey Hussle, and John Legend. Drip Too Hard, Lil Baby and Gunna. Panini from Lil Nas X, and Ballin', Mustard and Roddy Ricch, and The London, Young Thug, Travis Scott, and J. Cole. I'm gonna go with Higher from DJ Khaled, Nipsey Hussle, and John Legend. If we're talking rap and sung performance, they've got a great sung performance from John Legend. They got a great rap performance from Nipsey Hussle. Much better than most everything else on here when it comes to the rap and sung performance aspect of it. Drip Too Hard was a great song. People love Panini. I thought Panini was a good song. I just, you know, it was alright. The Lil Nas EP in itself was just okay. I don't know why people went so, that's just me. You know, I'm not projecting. I don't know why people went so crazy over the entirety of the thing, but whatever. I'm going to go with Higher. I think they'll pick it because I think it's probably a safer pick on, you know, out of the list here. And that's the one I would really go with. Now we got best rap song. Bad Idea from Chance and YB and Cordae. Gold wrote, why is Gold Roses on this list? Also, that reminds me, for the best R&B song, how could they not have the Laydown with Dram included? Dram, her, and oh god, and Watt. That was probably the best R&B song all year. Why wasn't that selected? The Rick Ross and Drake croon single with them just talking about relationship. Really? The amount of rap songs you could have put Palm Olive on here. That song was okay on its best day. Like, what is this? A lot from J. Cole and 21. Racks in the Middle. They're really trying to force this down my throat. And Suge. Best rap song, I'm easily going with A Lot. Bad Idea was okay at best. Gold Roses, compared to everything else on here, Gold Roses is trash, low key. Like, let's be honest. Let's talk about it. Like, let's not try to keep making it seem like because Drake and Rick Ross have collabed before that everything they collab with has to be flames. It's okay at best, my guy. Stop it. But yeah, no. A Lot from J. Cole and 21 is the clear winner here. Nothing else here needs to be said. And then best rap album is kind of disappointing because we've only got Revenge of the Dreamers 3, and I think there are at least 20 to 30 better rap albums than Revenge of the Dreamers. Not saying that I don't like J. Cole or Dreamville. I think they all have their own set. I think Earth Gang's album by itself is better than the Dreamville record. Championships with Meek Mill was a pretty good record. I Am Greater Than I Was, really great record to me. Igor from Tyler the Creator is a great record. I don't know if it belongs in best rap album category, which is why I think they should have just thrown it into the album of the year category. I don't think there would have been anything wrong with that. I know he's traditionally a rapper, but I just think if you're gonna ask, or if you're saying you know, the album has to have at least 51% of rap. I don't know. I personally think it's more singing, more crooning, more emotional music, very 80s synth pop-ish. It's not really rap to me, so I wouldn't throw it in the rap category. I don't know if they're doing that I don't know why they're doing that, honestly. That doesn't make sense to me. And the Lost Boy from YB and Cordae, like I said in the review for that album, I like YB and Cordae. I like what he's trying to do, but in a lot of ways, it's just like Baby J. Cole. The amount of rap records I feel like they could have put on this list that are more or that are better than the amount that they have here are astonishing. You know, if we're saying this like this, Igor is easily the best album in this lineup. But if we're talking best rap album, I'm going with 21 Savage. I am. It's a pretty clear choice to me. I'm going with 21 Savage. I Am Greater Than I Was over every other album on this list. But they're pretty much strong-arming everybody who liked Igor to pretty much pick Igor in this spot. So not only are you putting an album that isn't a rap album in the rap album category, you're going to make that album kind of win by default because it's the best album in that list to me, and it's going to beat out records that were actually trying to be rap albums as opposed to, you know, Igor, which was just, like I said, it was a pop, you know, elements of rap, but far from it, in my opinion. And this is why people end up getting upset with and hate the Grammys after a little while, because they showcase these artists, they get them to, like, the award shows, they get people to come out, they get people to attend their stuff, and the actual classification of their music in a lot of the ways isn't categorized properly. So you got, like, people were upset that Ari Lennox was recently upset because her album got beat out by and I don't think she was upset with Lizzo, but I think, you know, she was disappointed and she was frustrated because people are mistaking Lizzo's album and miscategorizing it. From what I've read, it's a spot that goes to the most popular record traditionally, like the biggest album. But, you know, I would expect an establishment known as the Soul Train Awards to prioritize albums that contain soul and rhythm and blues. That's what I would expect. So by default, every other album in the category should have been beaten out by Ari Lennox album, you know. And I wasn't a huge fan of Shea Butter Baby. I love Break Me Off though. And if we're comparing the two, I think Lizzo had the better overall record, but its classification is what gets other records beat out in the same spot. You know, why would you throw Freddie Gibbs, you know, and Madlib Bandana in the same conversation with an Igor? You wouldn't, you know. Not saying that Igor would easily beat Bandana out, because I don't think it would, but you're undervaluing each album when you compare such different intentions and put them in the same room together. One's obviously gonna beat out the other if you're categorizing it unfairly or if you're not categorizing it appropriately. And I feel like they're doing that with Igor. Igor, if it wins, every other rap album that was in that category just loses by default. And it's like, why would you put it in that conversation? You wouldn't even put it in that category. You know, it'd be like next year if Kanye West won Best Gospel Album and beats out every other gospel record in its category. That would be really annoying to the other gospel artists because they made gospel music. Whereas Kanye's making an album that's about gospel, but it's not a gospel record. It's Christian rap. It's annoying. Lastly, we're gonna do record of the year. We got Hey Ma with Bon Iver, Bad Guy, Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande with Seven Rings, Her, Hard Place, Talk with Khalid, Old Town Road, Truth Hurts, and Sunflower with Post Malone and Sway Lee. I'm gonna go with Old Town Road. I like Hard Place. That guitar really gets to my soul. Seven Rings was a big moment for Ariana Grande, just like Bad Guy was a big moment for Billie Eilish. Wasn't really feeling the Bon Iver record. Truth Hurts from Lizzo, like I said, was a big moment. Big, huge single for her. Personally, though, I just enjoyed Old Town Road much more. For album of the year, we got Bon Iver, we got Lana Del Rey with Norman Rockwell. Honestly, I said this on Twitter a while ago, Cellophane from FKA Twigs is better to me than every record off of Norman Rockwell. That's just me. When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I enjoyed the record. I didn't get too much more of it out of that, I don't think. I'm not a huge Billie Eilish fan, but she is a great singer when she's great. Thank You Next from Ariana Grande, I don't think so. I used to know her from her. Inconsistent to me. 7 from Lil Nas X is not an album, it's an EP. Cause I Love You from Lizzo, and Father of the Bride from Vampire Weekend. I'm gonna go with, see, if they would have put Igor in this category, not only would it have made sense it winning, but I'd be much happier with that placing because it doesn't belong just to one category. Why didn't they just put it in here? I don't understand that. If I have to assume who they're gonna give it to, they're probably gonna give it to Billie Eilish with When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I guess if I gotta go with anyone on this list, I'm gonna go with Lizzo, Cause I Love You. And I really don't want to, because I think Igor should have been placed in Album of the Year, and I would have easily voted for that, and that would have been my winner. That would have been my guy. Getting artists to come out and all these eyes to go to their award shows, and I know you don't have to care about it, but it is pretty annoying when an artist goes to the Grammys in hopes that their project may win something, and then it doesn't because it's been placed in a category appropriately, and then they throw another album in there that has no place in that category, and it wins and beats them out. That's why R&B and soul has taken such a hit. When I think the Carters won Best Urban Contemporary Album last year, or Best R&B Album, and it beat out legitimate R&B records. I'm like, why is that in this category? I hope that's not the case with this Igor record. Honestly, if anything has to beat it out, I think it should be 21 Savage's I Am Greater Than I Was record. I just think they should have. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I'm really annoyed by that selection. But those are my predictions. I think Billie Eilish is gonna take it, but I do think my vote will go to Lizzo with Cause I Love You. I do think she put out a better record. The theatrics of that album just make it a little bit more entertaining to me than Billie Eilish's subdued, very low-key at many moments vocal style. So that's just where I'm at with. That's how I'm feeling. Let me know about, how you feel about it in the comment section down below. Let me know what your predictions are, who you think is going to take what. I'm really annoyed with this Igor placing, though. I think Dram should have been included. I think Kiwanuka should have been included. I think Sedan Archive should have been included. I think, Slow Tie made a lot of statements with his Nothing Great About Britain record. But I guess I'm not here to argue about the ones that didn't get selected or picked at all. I guess just selecting from the pool that I've seen, that's what makes most sense to me. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and yeah. I'm out. I'm very excited for this new Trippie Redd album that's dropping this Friday. Also, new Party Next Door. I'm going to be on both of those, and I'm out. Bye.